The day I tried on my wedding gown, a strange woman burst into the VIP fitting room and shoved me to the floor. My knees struck the marble first. Then my pregnant belly hit the edge of the platform. A sharp pain tore through me. I curled around my stomach instinctively. "What are you doing?" The woman stood over me in a tight red dress and rhinestone-covered heels. Her name was Serena Vale. I recognized her from several charity magazines. She was the daughter of Victor Vale, the owner of a second-rate real estate company that had recently begun doing business with my fiancé's family. Serena lifted her chin. "I'm the real Mrs. Ethan Whitmore." My blood turned cold. She smiled when she saw my expression. "Someone like you, with no money and no family behind you, should know your place." Before I could get up, she kicked me in the stomach. The pointed heel struck directly beneath my ribs. Pain exploded through my body. My vision blurred. Cold sweat covered my forehead. "Stop." I tried to protect my belly with both arms. Serena crouched in front of me. Then she slapped me with the back of her hand. "You're nothing but a desperate orphan." The diamond ring on her finger cut my lip. "You got pregnant because you thought Ethan would be forced to marry you." Warm liquid began running down my legs. I looked down. Blood was spreading across the white wedding gown. My hand started shaking. My baby. I was 30 weeks pregnant. The little girl inside me had been kicking all morning. Now I couldn't feel her. Serena followed my gaze. For 1 second, uncertainty appeared on her face. Then it vanished. She laughed. "What's wrong?" She pressed the heel of her shoe against my hand. "Are you scared?" I tried to reach for my phone. "My brother will." Serena stepped harder. A loud crack echoed through the room. The phone screen shattered beneath her heel. Pain shot through my fingers. Serena smiled. "Trying to call for help?" She leaned closer. "Who could an orphan like you possibly call?" I clenched my teeth to stop myself from screaming. "My name is Valentina DeLuca." She froze for half a second. Then she burst out laughing. "Do you think giving yourself a Mafia name will frighten me?" My voice became weaker. "Tell Ethan that he made a mistake." Serena grabbed a pair of silver scissors from the dressing table. Then she began cutting my wedding gown. Snip. 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 The custom-made lace fell around me in pieces. "You aren't worthy of wearing this." She cut through the embroidered train. "This dress was designed for the future Mrs. Whitmore." She grabbed the fabric near my chest and tore it. "And that woman is me." My breathing became shallow. The pain inside my stomach was getting worse. I still couldn't feel the baby move. Serena leaned near my ear. "Ethan told me the truth about you." I looked at her. "He said you were an orphan with inferior blood." Her words struck me harder than the slap. "He said the pregnancy was an accident." "No." My voice barely came out. Serena smiled. "He said he was disgusted that a woman like you was carrying his child." "4 years. I had loved Ethan Whitmore for 4 years. He held me when I was afraid. He kissed my stomach every night. He built a nursery in the home we planned to share. He told me our daughter was the greatest gift he had ever received. Had all of it been a lie?" Serena threw the scissors aside. "Ethan didn't know how to get rid of you." Her expression became vicious. "So I decided to help him." She punched my stomach. I screamed. The sound tore through the bridal salon. But no one came inside. Serena's 2 bodyguards were standing outside the door. The salon manager had already sent the employees away. My baby's life seemed to fade with every drop of blood. Serena took out her phone. Then she started a live stream. She carefully angled the camera so that viewers could see my face and the torn wedding gown but not the blood beneath me. The headline read, "Teaching my fiancé's mistress a lesson." People entered the live stream immediately. The comments moved too quickly to read. Serena turned on her fake tears. "Everyone, this woman tried to steal my fiancé. She pointed the camera toward me. She got pregnant on purpose and has been threatening Ethan's family." The comments exploded. "Beat her. Women like that deserve nothing. She's pretending to be hurt. Protect your man." One comment appeared. "There's blood on the floor. Call an ambulance." Serena immediately changed the angle. She scratched herself when I confronted her. She looked into the camera with a trembling smile. "I'm the victim." Then she ended the live stream. She waved toward the door. Two large men entered the room. "Take her away," Serena ordered. One of them looked at the blood. "Miss Vale, she needs a hospital." Serena's expression darkened. "Did I ask for your medical opinion?" "No." "Then move her." The second man grabbed my arms. I fought weakly. "Don't touch me." Serena crouched beside me again. "We're going somewhere private." She smiled. "You still have one child inside you." Her fingers pressed against my stomach. "Let's see how long it stays there." Something inside me snapped. My damaged phone was still connected. Before Serena crushed it, I had managed to press my brother's number. The screen was broken. But the call had never ended. I saw a faint red light beneath the shattered glass. Marco was listening. I forced air into my lungs. "Come get me, Marco." Serena laughed again. "And tell father." I looked directly into her eyes. "I want the Whitmore and Vale families erased from South City." The salon became silent. Then a deep male voice came through the broken phone. "I heard you." Serena's smile disappeared. My brother continued. "Stay awake, little sister." In the distance, I heard sirens. Not police sirens. The low, violent roar of DeLuca security vehicles. Serena looked toward the window. "What did you do?" I smiled through the pain. "I called my family." The first black SUV crashed through the salon's glass entrance. People screamed outside. The bodyguard holding me released my arm. 5 armed men rushed into the building. They wore black suits with a silver wolf pinned to their lapels. The DeLuca crest. Serena stepped backward. "No." My oldest brother, Marco DeLuca, entered behind them. He was 36, 6 feet 4, and feared across every port between South City and New York. Blood drained from Serena's face. Everyone knew Marco. Even people who pretended not to know my family recognized him. His gaze found me. For 1 second, he stopped breathing. I was lying in a pool of blood. The wedding gown was torn. One of my hands was swollen and bruised. Marco's face became empty. That frightened everyone more than anger would have. He removed his coat. Then he covered me with it. "Val." I tried to speak. "My baby. The ambulance is here. I can't feel her." His jaw tightened. "You will." Serena backed toward the door. Marco looked up. "Lock the building." The security team closed every entrance. Serena lifted her phone. "You can't keep me here." Marco stood slowly. "Who touched my sister?" No one answered. He looked at Serena's bodyguards. "Was it you?" One of them shook his head. "We only came in at the end." Marco looked at the blood on the man's hands. "You moved her." "Miss Vale ordered us." Serena immediately shouted, "They attacked her." Both men stared at her. What? Serena pointed at them. They lost control. I tried to stop them. The first bodyguard's face twisted. That's a lie. Shut up. Marco's eyes moved to the ceiling. Cameras? The salon manager, Miranda Cole, appeared near the hallway. Her face was pale. The security system stopped working. When? This morning. Marco looked at her. She began trembling. I don't know what happened. One of my brother's men picked up Serena's phone. The live stream was saved. Serena lunged for it. Give that back. A guard pushed her against the wall. Marco watched the video for less than 10 seconds. His expression became colder. He handed the phone to his assistant. Make copies. Serena began shouting. My father knows the mayor. You can't do this to me. Marco ignored her. He lifted me carefully. The movement sent another wave of pain through my stomach. I screamed. Marco's composure broke. Gabriel. A man entered the salon with the emergency medical team. Dr. Gabriel Moretti. He was a trauma surgeon. He was also the son of my father's oldest ally. Gabriel and Marco had been friends since childhood. I had known him nearly my entire life. He knelt beside me. Valentina, look at me. I tried. My eyelids were heavy. How long have you been bleeding? I don't know. Can you feel the baby? No. He placed an oxygen mask over my face. We need to move now. Serena stepped forward. She attacked me first. Marco turned. Serena stopped. He walked toward her. Each step echoed across the salon. Do you know who she is? Serena swallowed. She said she was a DeLuca. She is Valentina Elena DeLuca. Marco stopped directly in front of her. The youngest daughter of Don Rafael DeLuca. Serena's lips parted. No. The woman you called an orphan owns the building you're standing in. Miranda, the salon manager, almost collapsed. Marco continued. She also owns the land beneath 3 of your father's developments. Serena shook her head. She's lying. Marco looked toward me. My sister has never needed to lie about who she is. The paramedics placed me on a stretcher. As they rolled me past Serena, she stared at me with wide eyes. Her arrogance was gone. Only fear remained. I lifted my uninjured hand and touched Marco's sleeve. Don't kill her. His expression changed. She hurt you. I want her alive. Why? My voice was weak. So she can watch. Marco understood. He turned toward his men. No one touches Serena Vale. Relief appeared on her face. Then Marco added, deliver her to the police with every copy of that live stream. Her face became pale again. And freeze every Vale and Whitmore account connected to South City. Serena began struggling. You can't. Marco looked at her. My sister asked for your families to disappear. He smiled without warmth. I'm only carrying out the order. The ambulance doors closed. Gabriel sat beside me. He held my hand while the sirens began. Stay with me. My baby. We're going to save both of you. Promise? Gabriel looked at me. He knew better than to make promises he couldn't keep. But that day, he did. I promise. Then everything went black. I woke beneath bright hospital lights. Something was beeping beside me. My throat hurt. My body felt heavy and empty. I moved my hand toward my stomach. It was flat. No. A nurse rushed toward me. Ms. DeLuca, please stay still. My baby. My voice broke. Where is she? The nurse looked toward the door. Your doctor will explain. No. I tried to sit up. Pain tore across my lower abdomen. I looked beneath the blanket. There was a bandage across my stomach. I began crying. My baby is dead. The door opened. Gabriel entered. He was still wearing blue surgical scrubs. There were dark shadows beneath his eyes. He crossed the room quickly. Valentina. Where is she? He caught my shoulders before I could pull out the four. Look at me. Where is my baby? She's alive. I stopped moving. What? She's alive. The room blurred through my tears. Gabriel sat beside the bed. The kick caused a placental abruption. He spoke slowly. We had to perform an emergency cesarean section. How early? 30 weeks and 2 days. Can she breathe? She's in the neonatal intensive care unit. Is she hurt? She's small. His voice softened. But she's fighting. I covered my mouth. A sound escaped me that was half sob and half laugh. She's alive. Yes. Gabriel's eyes became wet. She weighs 3 pounds and 4 ounces. Can I see her? When you're stable. I'm stable. You woke up 30 seconds ago. I want to see my daughter. Gabriel almost smiled. There you are. What? The woman who argues with every doctor. I grabbed his wrist. Please. He looked at my hand. Then he nodded. Give me 10 minutes. The hospital had closed an entire floor for my family. Armed DeLuca guards stood near every elevator. When the nurse wheeled me into the NICU, my father was waiting outside. Don Rafael DeLuca was 62. People called him ruthless. They said he had no heart. When he saw me, tears filled his eyes. Papa. He knelt beside my wheelchair. His hands shook as he touched my face. My little girl. I'm sorry. His expression hardened. For what? I should have told Ethan the truth. No. He held my face between his hands. The man should have loved you without knowing your name. My 3 brothers stood behind him. Marco looked as though he hadn't slept. Nico was staring at the floor because he didn't want me to see him cry. Dante, my youngest brother, had blood on his knuckles. I frowned. Whose blood? No one important. Dante. He resisted when we took him to the police. Who? The salon's security manager. My father gave him a warning look. Dante shrugged. He deleted the footage. I looked at Marco. Ethan? Marco's expression became cold. He's outside. Here. He arrived 1 hour ago. Does he know the baby survived? No. Why? Because he has no right to know anything until you decide. The NICU doors opened. A nurse pushed me inside. My daughter lay inside a clear incubator. She was so small that fear stopped my breath. Tubes surrounded her. A tiny knitted hat covered her head. Her hand was no larger than the top of my thumb. I pressed my fingers against the glass. Hello. My voice broke. I'm your mother. The monitor beside her continued beeping. Her fingers moved. Only slightly. But I saw it. She knows your voice, Gabriel said behind me. I looked at him. You saved her. The entire team saved her. You promised. Yes. And you kept it. His expression softened. I was afraid I wouldn't. I looked back at my daughter. What should I name her? My father stepped closer. You had a name before. Ethan and I had planned to call her Lily. The name suddenly felt connected to too many lies. I shook my head. Not Lily. I touched the glass again. Isabella. My mother's middle name. Isabella Rose DeLuca. Marco nodded. A DeLuca. I looked at him. She's a Whitmore too. Silence filled the room. My father's face became dark. I continued before he could speak. Biologically. I looked at my daughter. But Ethan will have to earn the right to be anything else. I met Ethan Whitmore 4 years earlier at a small cafe near South City University. At the time, he was trying to launch a construction company separate from his father's business. I was sitting alone, wearing jeans and an old sweater. Ethan spilled coffee across my architectural drawings. He apologized for 20 minutes. Then he bought me dinner. He didn't know I was a DeLuca. I used my mother's maiden name, Valentina Cole. I lived in an ordinary apartment. I drove an old car. I wanted to know whether someone could love me without the family name. My father hated the idea. My brothers hated it more. Marco placed security outside my building without telling me. Dante investigated every person I met. Nico followed Ethan for 3 weeks. Eventually, they stopped objecting. Ethan seemed kind. He didn't ask how much money I had. He didn't ask about my family. When he believed I was an orphan, he held me and promised that I would never be alone again. For 4 years, I believed him. What Ethan didn't know was that the anonymous investment fund that saved his company belonged to me. His first major construction project had failed. Banks refused to lend him money. His father called him an embarrassment. I secretly invested $20 million through DeLuca Capital. Ethan believed a foreign investment group had recognized his talent. 2 years later, I invested another $40 million. The Whitmore family used the money to expand across South City. Every hotel they built stood on DeLuca-controlled land. Every import contract moved through DeLuca-controlled ports. Every building permit had been approved because my father made one phone call. Ethan thought his success had finally earned his family's respect. In reality, I had built the ground beneath his feet. I never told him. I wanted him to be proud of himself. That was my first mistake. My second mistake was believing that gratitude existed in a man who didn't know he owed anything. 2 days after the attack, Marco brought me Ethan's phone records. He placed the file beside my hospital bed. You don't have to read it now. Yes, I do. My daughter was still in the NICU. The doctors said her condition was stable. I had spent nearly every hour beside her. Marco opened the folder. Ethan and Serena had been seeing each other for 11 months. Hotel receipts. Photographs. Messages. The first message that made my hands shake had been sent by Ethan. Valentina is pregnant. We need to be careful. Serena replied. Then leave her. I can't yet. Why? Her mysterious investor is still funding the Riverside project. If I break the engagement too early, she might contact them. I stared at the screen. He knew I had introduced him to the investment fund. He didn't know it was mine. Another message followed. Once the money clears, I'll deal with her. Serena asked. And the baby? Ethan's reply was short. A complication. I stopped breathing. Marco reached for the phone. I pulled it away. I need to finish. Val. Please. He sat beside me. The messages continued. Serena had discovered my wedding appointment from Ethan. She'll be at Belladonna Bridal on Thursday. Why are you telling me? I need her frightened enough to disappear for a while. You want me to confront her? Do whatever you need. Just don't involve me. The final message was sent 1 hour before the attack. She still believes we're getting married. Serena replied. After today, she won't. I placed the phone down. My entire body was shaking. Marco stood. I'll kill him. No. He sent her there. I said no. He knew. Yes. He called his own daughter a complication. My eyes filled with tears. Yes. Marco turned away. His shoulders were tense. What do you want me to do? I looked toward the NICU doors. I want every cent I gave him returned. That can be done. I want every lie exposed. Marco nodded. And I want Ethan to see Isabella. His head turned sharply. Why? Because he needs to understand what he tried to destroy. Ethan entered my hospital room that evening. 2 guards searched him first. He looked terrible. His suit was wrinkled. His eyes were red. There was a bruise across his jaw where Dante had hit him. When he saw me, he began crying. Valentina. I felt nothing. Not anger. Not love. Nothing. He rushed toward the bed. Marco blocked him. Stay where you are. Ethan stopped. He looked at my father and brothers. Then his eyes returned to me. You're really a DeLuca. That's what concerns you? No. He shook his head quickly. I'm only shocked. You told Serena I was an orphan. I thought you were. You told her you were disgusted that I was carrying your child. That's a lie. Which part? All of it. He stepped forward. Marco's hand moved toward his jacket. Ethan stopped again. Serena is insane. He looked desperate. She twisted everything. She had your messages. I was trying to control her. By sleeping with her? His face became pale. It happened once. Marco laughed. We found 11 months of hotel records. Ethan looked at me. I made a mistake. Which night? What? Which night was the mistake? He said nothing. The first time? I continued. The second? My voice became colder. Or the night you told her where I would be trying on my wedding gown? His lips parted. I didn't know she would hurt you. You told her to do whatever was necessary. I meant scare you. Why? He looked toward my father. The truth embarrassed him. He didn't want to say it in front of powerful men. Because of the investment, I answered for him. Ethan's eyes widened. You were afraid I would interfere with the Riverside funds. How do you know? Because I am the Riverside Fund. Silence filled the room. Ethan stared at me. No. DeLuca Capital invested the first $20 million in your company. His face drained of color. The second investment was mine too. You. His voice failed. You saved Whitmore Construction? Yes. Why didn't you tell me? I wanted you to believe you had built something. He stared at the floor. The humiliation on his face was almost painful to watch. I continued. The hotels, the port contracts, the permits, and the loans all came through my family. Ethan looked up. Valentina, listen to me. No. I loved you. You loved the woman you thought was too powerless to leave. That isn't true. You cheated because you believed there would be no consequences. I was confused. You planned to marry Serena. She pressured me. You gave her a ring. It wasn't official. You let her call herself Mrs. Whitmore. I never. I played the voice recording Marco had recovered. Ethan's voice filled the room. After Valentina signs the final investment documents, you'll be Mrs. Whitmore. Ethan closed his eyes. I looked at him. Was that confusion? He began crying again. Please. Do you want to see your daughter? His eyes opened. She survived? For the first time, his reaction looked real. Hope and fear crossed his face. Our baby is alive? Her name is Isabella. He covered his mouth. Oh my God. I pressed the call button. A nurse brought in a tablet connected to the NICU camera. Isabella appeared on the screen. Ethan sank to his knees. She's so small. Yes. Can I see her? No. His head lifted. I'm her father. You sent the woman who nearly killed her. I didn't know. You called her a complication. I was angry. At an unborn baby? He shook his head desperately. I didn't mean it. You meant enough to write it. He reached toward me. Marco stepped between us. Ethan lowered his hand. What do you want from me? I stared at him. I want you to live. He looked confused. My brothers wanted to kill you. His face became pale. I told them not to. Why? Because death would be too easy. I turned off the tablet. I want you alive when your company collapses. His breathing changed. I want you alive when every person learns how you treated your pregnant fiancée, Valentina. And I want you alive when Isabella grows up without ever calling you her father. His face crumpled. I looked toward the door. Take him away. The guards grabbed his arms. Ethan struggled. Valentina. I didn't look at him. I love you. The door closed behind him. Only then did I begin to cry. Serena's live stream had lasted only 11 minutes. It destroyed her life. At first, thousands of viewers believed her. They called me a homewrecker. They praised Serena for confronting the woman who had stolen her fiancé. Then Marco released the unedited footage recovered from the salon's security server. The video showed Serena entering the building with 2 bodyguards. It showed her bribing the manager. It showed her ordering the employees to leave. It showed every kick. Every slap. Every drop of blood. The live stream comments changed within an hour. She attacked a pregnant woman. Why isn't she in prison? The victim could have died. Serena Vale lied to everyone. Then my family released one statement. The woman assaulted inside Belladonna Bridal was Valentina De Luca, daughter of Rafael De Luca. Both mother and child survived. Criminal proceedings and civil claims are underway. The name De Luca changed everything. Serena's sponsors ended their contracts. The Vale family's business partners disappeared. 3 banks froze their credit lines. The mayor's office denied ever knowing Victor Vale. Every person who once attended Serena's parties pretended they had never met her. She was arrested before midnight. Her father paid for an emergency hearing and secured temporary house arrest. He believed money could still save her. He was wrong. The next morning, all 12 Vale developments in South City received stop work orders. The land leases were cancelled. The construction materials remained locked at De Luca-controlled ports. Victor Vale lost 70% of his company's value in one day. He came to the hospital himself. My father met him in a private waiting room. I watched through the security camera. Victor entered angrily. This has gone far enough. My father sat in a leather chair. He didn't stand. Your daughter nearly killed mine. It was a misunderstanding between young women. Marco moved toward him. My father lifted one hand. Marco stopped. A misunderstanding, my father repeated. Victor placed a folder on the table. My daughter acted emotionally. She kicked a pregnant woman. Serena believed your daughter was sleeping with her fiancé. My daughter was the fiancé. Victor's face tightened. Ethan promised Serena marriage. Then your daughter should have confronted Ethan. She made a mistake. My father nodded slowly. So did I. Victor looked hopeful. I allowed your company to operate on my land. His hope vanished. I can compensate your daughter. My father smiled. How much is a grandchild worth? Victor became silent. 10 million. Marco laughed. Victor's face reddened. 20. My father stood. The room became colder. You came into my hospital and offered $20 million for the blood of my daughter and granddaughter. I didn't mean. My father walked toward him. Your company is worth less than that now. Victor stepped back. My family has political protection. Not anymore. You can't destroy us. My daughter already did. My father opened the door. Leave. Victor's expression twisted. If Serena goes to prison, I will make this public. Marco looked confused. Make what public? Victor smiled. Valentina lied to Ethan for 4 years. He looked at the camera. He knew I was watching. She hid her identity and manipulated him with money. I entered the room. Victor turned. I was still weak, but I stood without assistance. Make it public. His smile faded. You think people will support you? I don't need strangers to support me. I walked closer. But if you want the public to hear the story, I'll tell them everything. Your secret investments? Yes. Your false name? Yes. Your family's criminal reputation? My father's expression darkened. I stopped him with one look. Tell the entire world. Victor studied me. You're bluffing. No. I smiled. Your daughter taught me what happens when someone edits the truth. I opened the door wider. So this time, I'll release all of it. 1 week after I left the hospital, Whitmore Holdings held an emergency board meeting. Ethan's father, Charles Whitmore, believed the meeting was about replacing Ethan temporarily. He was wrong. The Whitmore headquarters occupied 40 floors in the center of South City. I entered wearing a white suit. Marco walked beside me. Gabriel followed several steps behind, pretending he was only there because my doctor had forbidden me to travel alone. Charles Whitmore stood at the head of the boardroom table. His wife, Helen, sat beside him. Ethan was there too. He had been released while prosecutors continued gathering evidence. When he saw me, he stood. Valentina. I ignored him. Charles frowned. This is a private board meeting. I placed a folder on the table. No. I sat in the largest chair. This is my board meeting. The directors looked at one another. Charles laughed. You may be Rafael De Luca's daughter, but you have no position in this company. Marco handed a document to each director. Charles opened his. The color left his face. 3 years earlier, Whitmore Holdings had issued convertible debt to avoid bankruptcy. De Luca Capital owned the notes. After the company failed to meet several repayment conditions, the debt converted into shares. I now controlled 54% of Whitmore Holdings. Charles looked at me. This is impossible. You signed the agreement. The investor was North Atlantic Development, a subsidiary of De Luca Capital. Helen grabbed the document. You tricked us. I saved you. Charles slammed his hand against the table. You hid behind another company. You hid $11 million in offshore accounts. The room became silent. Charles stopped breathing. Marco placed another folder in front of him. We found those too. Helen looked at her husband. What offshore accounts? Charles ignored her. He pointed at me. You planned this. No. I looked at Ethan. I planned to marry your son. Ethan lowered his eyes. I planned to transfer part of my shares to him after the wedding. Every director turned toward him. His face became pale. I wanted to make him the head of a company he truly owned. Charles stared at his son. You knew? No. Ethan's voice was barely audible. She never told me. That was the gift, I said. I looked around the table. Instead, Ethan chose Serena Vale. Charles's expression became furious. You destroyed this family for that woman? Ethan stood. Valentina, we can fix this. No. I'll end everything with Serena. That relationship ended when she kicked me. I'll testify against her. You already have. His face changed. What? The police have your messages. Ethan sat down slowly. I opened the meeting agenda. As majority shareholder, I am making several changes. Charles gripped the edge of the table. You cannot remove me. I can. The first vote passed. Charles Whitmore was removed as chairman. The second vote passed. Ethan was terminated as chief executive officer. The third vote froze all family bonuses and launched a forensic audit. Helen began crying. You're taking everything. I looked at her. No. Your husband and son already took it. The new chief financial officer presented the audit findings. Charles had stolen from the company for years. Ethan had approved false invoices to finance Serena's apartment, jewelry, and travel. Whitmore Holdings had paid nearly $6 million for their affair. The directors were furious. One man looked at Ethan. You charged hotel rooms to the Riverside project? Ethan didn't answer. Another director threw his file onto the table. You risked the entire company. Ethan looked at me. Please. I stood. For years, I had imagined entering that building as his wife. I had imagined helping him lead the company. Instead, I had come to take it away. Whitmore Holdings will survive. Hope appeared on Charles's face. Under new leadership. His hope disappeared. The family name will be removed from every company property within 60 days. Helen gasped. You can't erase us. I looked at her. Your son nearly erased my daughter. Then I walked out. Ethan followed me into the hallway. Valentina. Marco moved between us. I raised one hand. I'll speak to him. Marco reluctantly stepped away. Ethan's eyes were red. I lost everything. You still have your life. You did this because I cheated. No. Then why? Because you used my money to fund the woman who attacked me. I didn't know she would. You keep saying that. I stepped closer. You didn't know she would hurt me. You didn't know the company was built with my money. You didn't know the child you called a complication would survive. His lips trembled. How many things can a man refuse to know before ignorance becomes a choice? He had no answer. I entered the elevator. Before the doors closed, he whispered, I still love you. I pressed the button for the lobby. No. I looked at him one last time. You love the life you lost. I was supposed to become Mrs. Whitmore. Ethan promised me. He said Valentina was only a temporary problem. An orphan. A woman with no money. Someone who would disappear once he stopped paying her rent. Then Marco DeLuca crashed through the salon doors. Everything changed. My father stopped answering my calls. My friends removed photographs of us from social media. The women who had encouraged me to confront Valentina called me a monster. Even Ethan refused to visit me. I was trapped inside my father's mansion with an electronic bracelet around my ankle. The curtains remained closed. Reporters waited outside every gate. I watched Valentina take control of Whitmore Holdings on the news. She wore white. She looked calm. Untouchable. I threw the remote at the television. She lied. The screen cracked. She told Ethan she was an orphan. My lawyer, Nathan Price, sat across from me. Her identity is not relevant to the assault charge. She manipulated him. That is not a legal defense. She stole my fiancé. Nathan stared at me. Ethan was engaged to her. He promised me marriage. Did he publicly announce it? No. Did he give you a legally binding agreement? No. Then he wasn't your fiancé. I grabbed a vase and threw it. It shattered near his feet. Nathan didn't move. You need to control yourself. I am a veil. Your father's company has entered bankruptcy protection. My body became cold. What? 3 lenders demanded immediate repayment. No. The South City projects are finished. My father said he could fix it. He can't. I sank onto the sofa. This wasn't possible. Valentina was supposed to be beneath me. She wore ordinary dresses. She lived in a modest apartment. She thanked waiters. She drove an old car. People like that didn't destroy families. Nathan opened his briefcase. The prosecutor offered a plea agreement. I'm not pleading guilty. You're on video. I was defending myself. You kicked her 4 times. She threatened me. The live stream shows otherwise. She called her Mafia family. After you attacked her. I looked toward the window. What does Ethan say? Nathan became quiet. My chest tightened. What did he say? He claims you misunderstood his messages. He told me to scare her. He says he meant verbally. He told me to do whatever was necessary. He says that referred to ending the relationship. I laughed. The sound became louder. He's blaming me. Yes. He gave me the salon address. He admits that. He knew what I would do. That is difficult to prove. I stood. I have recordings. Nathan looked at me. What recordings? I walked toward my bedroom. Ethan believed I trusted him. I didn't. I had recorded several conversations. In one, he told me that Valentina's pregnancy had ruined everything. In another, he said he wished the baby would disappear. I returned with a hidden drive. Nathan stared at it. This could change the case. I want immunity. You assaulted her. I want less time. Then you testify against Ethan. I smiled. If Ethan wanted to sacrifice me, I would drag him down too. What happens to Valentina? Nothing. My smile disappeared. She lied too. Nathan stood. Serena, this isn't a competition. He didn't understand. Everything had always been a competition. And I had lost. Serena's lawyer delivered the recordings to prosecutors. One conversation took place 6 days before the attack. Ethan's voice was clear. She refuses to postpone the wedding. Serena answered. Then tell her the truth. I can't until the Riverside money clears. What about the baby? There was a long pause. Then Ethan said. I wish the problem would solve itself. The second recording was worse. Serena asked. What if I confront her at the bridal salon? Ethan laughed. Maybe fear will make her stop pretending she belongs in our world. And if she gets hurt? Valentina has no one. Who would fight for her? I stopped the recording. Gabriel was sitting beside me in the hospital family room. Isabella had been in the NICU for 5 weeks. She was growing stronger every day. I was supposed to be focusing on her. Instead, I was listening to the man I once loved wish that she would disappear. Gabriel took the tablet from my hand. That's enough. No. You've heard it 3 times. I need to understand. There is nothing to understand. I chose him. Gabriel's voice softened. You chose the man he pretended to be. I should have known. How? I grew up around liars. Your family's enemies don't usually kiss your forehead first. I looked at him. Gabriel had visited every day. He brought coffee. He sat beside Isabella's incubator. He learned how to change the tiny premature diapers when my hands shook too much. He never asked me to discuss Ethan. He never said he had warned me. You knew something was wrong with him, I said. Gabriel looked away. When? The first year. How? He asked Marco how much money you would inherit. My chest tightened. What did Marco say? That it was none of his business. And no one told me? You were happy. That isn't an excuse. No. Gabriel accepted the anger. That made it harder to direct at him. You should have told me. I should have. Why didn't you? He became silent. Gabriel. Because I wanted you to leave him for the wrong reason. What does that mean? His eyes returned to mine. I wanted you to leave him for me. My heartbeat changed. Gabriel stood. This isn't the right time. No. I caught his sleeve. You don't get to say that and walk away. He looked at my hand. Then he sat again. How long? Long enough to know I should keep quiet. That isn't an answer. 7 years. I stared at him. That's before Ethan. Yes. Why didn't you say anything? You were 20. So? I was 29. You thought I was too young? I thought your brothers would kill me. Despite everything, I almost laughed. That too. Gabriel's mouth curved faintly. Then his expression became serious. When you met Ethan, you wanted a life without the DeLuca name. He gave me that. Yes. I thought you needed to choose it without interference. And when he cheated? I didn't know. Would you have told me if you did? Yes. He looked toward the NICU. I would have destroyed him. My eyes filled with tears. Everyone keeps saying that. Because we love you. Love isn't supposed to destroy people. No. Gabriel looked at me. It's supposed to stop them from destroying you. For a second, neither of us spoke. Then the NICU alarm sounded. I stood so quickly that pain pulled across my scar. Gabriel caught me. It's not Isabella's monitor. A nurse hurried past us into another room. My daughter remained asleep. Her tiny chest rose and fell. I pressed one hand against the glass. I can't lose her. You won't. You promised before. I remember. What if you can't keep this one? Gabriel stood beside me. Then I'll stay while you're afraid. That answer meant more than another promise. Ethan filed for parental rights 3 days after learning that Serena had given prosecutors the recordings. His lawyer argued that the criminal investigation had not yet resulted in a conviction. He claimed Ethan was an innocent father being denied access to his premature daughter. The news spread quickly. Some people supported him. A child needs her father. Valentina is using her family's power. He didn't kick her. Serena did. Ethan gave an interview outside the courthouse. I made mistakes in my relationship. His eyes filled with tears at the correct moment. But I love my daughter. He looked into the cameras. I only want the opportunity to hold her. I watched the interview from my father's study. Marco threw the remote onto the table. He wants sympathy. He wants leverage, I said. My father nodded. If he has parental rights, he can delay the company restructuring. And ask for money. Gabriel stood near the window. He may also want access to the child. Everyone looked at him. Gabriel continued. Not because he loves her. My stomach tightened. Then why? Control. The custody hearing took place 1 week later. I entered the courtroom carrying no weapon, no security detail and no visible sign of the DeLuca family. Only Marco sat behind me. Ethan wore a dark suit. He looked like the man I once planned to marry. His lawyer spoke first. Mr. Whitmore has never been convicted of a crime. He was not present during the assault. He has expressed remorse for his affair. He is prepared to provide financially for his daughter. Then my attorney played the recording. I wish the problem would solve itself. The courtroom became silent. Ethan looked down. His lawyer argued that the statement had been taken out of context. Then Serena's live stream was played. The judge watched Ethan's mistress kick me while I begged her to stop. My attorney displayed the messages Ethan sent before the attack. She'll be at Belladonna Bridal on Thursday. Do whatever you need. Just don't involve me. Ethan stood. I didn't mean violence. The judge ordered him to sit. His lawyer whispered angrily. Ethan ignored him. He looked at me. Valentina, I didn't know. I said nothing. The judge denied his request for immediate visitation. A temporary protective order prevented him from approaching Isabella. Further decisions would wait until the criminal case concluded. Outside the courthouse, Ethan followed me. Valentina. Marco stepped toward him. I stopped my brother. Ethan's face was desperate. I only wanted to see her. You wanted cameras to see you trying. That isn't true. Why did you file the petition the day Serena turned over evidence? He became silent. You wanted to look like the victim. I am her father. You provided DNA. That isn't the same as being a father. He grabbed my arm. Marco struck him before I could react. Ethan fell against the courthouse steps. Security rushed forward. Marco lifted both hands. Ethan wiped blood from his mouth. You see? He looked at the reporters. This family uses violence to control everyone. I pulled my sleeve up. His fingers had left red marks on my arm. The cameras turned toward him. Ethan's expression changed. I leaned closer. You still don't understand. What? You are no longer the man protected by my silence. I walked away while the reporters surrounded him. Serena Vale pleaded guilty to aggravated assault, unlawful confinement, evidence tampering and several related charges. In exchange for testifying against Ethan, prosecutors reduced her potential sentence. Ethan was charged with conspiracy, obstruction, fraud and criminal solicitation connected to the attack. His attorneys insisted that he never ordered Serena to use violence. Serena testified otherwise. The courtroom was full on the day she took the stand. She wore a plain gray dress. Without designer clothes and expensive makeup, she looked younger. Smaller. The prosecutor asked why she went to the bridal salon. Ethan gave me the location. What did he ask you to do? Frighten Valentina. How? He said I should make her understand that she would never become Mrs. Whitmore. Did he tell you not to hurt her? No. Did he know Ms. DeLuca was pregnant? Yes. Did he discuss the baby? Serena looked at Ethan. He stared back at her with hatred. He called the baby a problem. A murmur moved through the courtroom. The prosecutor played the recordings. Ethan's own voice destroyed him. His lawyer tried to paint Serena as a jealous liar. Isn't it true that you wanted Ms. DeLuca gone? Yes. Isn't it true that you acted alone? No. Mr. Whitmore did not enter the salon. No. He did not kick Ms. DeLuca. No. Then he did not cause her injuries. Serena smiled bitterly. He gave me the address because he knew what I was. The courtroom became silent. What do you mean? He knew I hated her. She looked at the jury. He spent months telling me she was weak, worthless, and alone. Her voice shook. He made me believe hurting her was helping him. The defense lawyer asked, "And you expect the jury to believe you had no choice?" Serena looked toward me. No. For the first time, she sounded honest. I chose. She lowered her eyes. So did he. The salon manager testified next. Miranda Cole admitted accepting $50,000 from Serena to clear the VIP floor and disable the cameras. She had believed Serena only intended to confront me. When she saw the blood, she panicked and tried to delete the footage. The security technicians recovered it. Ethan testified in his own defense. That was his final mistake. He cried. He apologized. He said he loved me. Then the prosecutor asked why he used company money to pay for Serena's apartment. He claimed she was a consultant. The prosecutor displayed hotel photographs. He claimed the affair had clouded his judgment. Then the prosecutor asked one question. If Valentina Cole had truly been an orphan with no money, would you have remained with her? Ethan looked at me. He knew the truthful answer would destroy him. He also knew the lie would be obvious. I loved her. That wasn't the question. His mouth opened. No words came out. The silence lasted 11 seconds. It was enough. Ethan was convicted on most charges. Serena received 12 years. Ethan received 9. Charles Whitmore was separately charged with financial crimes discovered during the company audit. He accepted a plea agreement. The Whitmore family lost the company, the mansion, and nearly every property they owned. Helen filed for divorce. Victor Vale declared bankruptcy. His daughter went to prison. His wife left him. The Vale name disappeared from every building in South City. My order had been completed. Before Ethan was transferred to prison, he asked to see me. I almost refused. Then I agreed. We sat across from each other in a small interview room. A thick glass wall separated us. Ethan wore a gray uniform. His hair had been cut short. For the first time since I met him, he looked ordinary. He picked up the phone. I did the same. You came. You asked. His eyes moved over my face. You look well. I am. And Isabella? She's home. Hope appeared in his eyes. She left the hospital 2 weeks ago. Is she healthy? She still needs monitoring. Can I see a picture? No. His face tightened. I'm still her father. The court terminated your parental rights. I can appeal. You can. He stared at me. You hate me. No. That's worse. Yes. His hand tightened around the phone. Did you ever love me? For 4 years. Then how can you look at me like this? Because the man I loved didn't exist. I did love you. You loved that I needed you. That isn't true. You believed I had no family. I didn't care. You asked Marco about my inheritance before we had been together for 6 months. His expression changed. Gabriel told you. Yes. He laughed bitterly. Of course. What does that mean? He always wanted you. You knew? Every man knew. Jealousy appeared in his eyes. He looked at you like you were already his. No. I shook my head. Gabriel never treated me like property. Ethan's face became cold. Are you with him? That is none of your business. His breathing changed. You are. I remained silent. He laughed again. So that's it. What? You replaced me. No. I looked directly at him. I survived you. His eyes became wet. I think about that day every night. The salon? The day I gave Serena the address. He closed his eyes. I thought she would embarrass you. You knew she was unstable. Yes. You knew she hated the baby. Yes. You still sent her. His tears fell. Yes. The admission didn't heal anything. But it ended the last lie. I'm sorry. I know. Will you ever forgive me? No. He flinched. I continued. But I will stop allowing you to occupy space in my life. Valentina. I placed the phone down. He struck the glass. I stood. Please. His voice came faintly through the barrier. Tell Isabella the first loved her. I looked back. You didn't. His face crumpled. You loved what she might have made you look like. Then I left. Isabella came home after 73 days in the NICU. The DeLuca estate had never been so quiet. My father ordered everyone to speak softly. Marco removed half the furniture because he believed it contained dust. Nico installed 3 air purification systems. Dante stood outside the nursery door and threatened every visitor with a list of rules. Gabriel ignored all of them. He carried Isabella into the house. She was wearing a white hat and sleeping against his chest. She likes me, he said. She's asleep. She chose to sleep. She's 2 months old. Excellent instincts. I smiled. Gabriel placed her inside the crib. For a long time, we stood beside her. The nursery I prepared with Ethan had been abandoned. My family created a new one inside the DeLuca estate. Pale green walls. White furniture. A window facing the garden. Nothing from my old life had entered the room. Gabriel looked at me. You should sleep. I need to watch her. She's breathing. What if she stops? The monitor will alert us. What if the monitor fails? It has 2 backup systems. What if? Gabriel touched my hand. I stopped. You're allowed to be afraid. My eyes filled with tears. But you are also allowed to rest. I don't know how. Then I'll stay. He sat in the chair beside the crib. I looked at him. All night? Yes. You operated for 12 hours today. I've had coffee. That's not healthy. Neither is watching a baby breathe until sunrise. I sat on the sofa. You don't have to take care of us. I know. Then why do you? Gabriel looked toward Isabella. Because I love her. My throat tightened. She isn't yours. No. He looked back at me. But love does not require ownership. The word struck something deep inside me. For 4 years, Ethan had treated love like a claim. A right. A transaction. Gabriel treated it as a responsibility. I lowered my eyes. And me? His expression softened. You already know. I need to hear it. He stood. Then he stopped in front of me. I love you. No hesitation. No conditions. I loved you before Ethan. I loved you while you were with him, although I hated myself for it. And I loved you in the operating room when I was terrified I would lose you. Tears rolled down my face. Gabriel crouched in front of me. I don't expect anything. That makes it worse. Why? Because I want to give you something. His eyes searched mine. What? I leaned forward and kissed him. For 1 second, he didn't move. Then his hand touched the side of my face. The kiss remained gentle. Careful. When we separated, Gabriel rested his forehead against mine. Are you sure? No. He smiled faintly. That is not the answer I hoped for. I'm afraid. Of me? Of choosing wrong again. His expression became serious. Then don't choose forever tonight. What do I choose? Tomorrow. His thumb brushed away my tears. Choose to let me stay until morning. I nodded. Okay. The next morning, he was still beside the crib. Gabriel never rushed me. That was how he won. He didn't send expensive jewelry. He didn't make dramatic promises. He showed up. When Isabella had a fever, he stayed awake beside her. When I returned to work, he brought lunch because I forgot to eat. When nightmares woke me, he sat on the floor beside my bed until I calmed down. He never entered unless I invited him. 6 months after Ethan's conviction, Gabriel and I attended a charity gala together. It was the first public event since the trial. Reporters waited outside. One shouted, "Ms. DeLuca, is Dr. Moretti your new boyfriend?" Gabriel looked at me. He didn't answer for me. Yes, I said. The cameras flashed. Another reporter asked, "Is this a revenge relationship?" Gabriel's expression became cold. I touched his arm. No. I looked into the camera. Revenge kept me alive for a while. Then I looked at Gabriel. Love taught me how to live afterward. The next morning, that sentence appeared on every news site. Marco called me dramatic. Dante claimed Gabriel had paid the reporter. My father secretly framed the newspaper page. 1 year after Isabella came home, Gabriel proposed. He didn't choose a restaurant. He didn't choose a party. He took me back to Belladonna Bridal. The salon had changed owners after Miranda Cole was convicted. The VIP room had been completely renovated. I stood in the doorway. My body remembered before my mind did. My hands began shaking. Gabriel noticed. We can leave. No. I walked inside. The marble platform was gone. The mirrors were new. There was no blood. No torn dress. Only sunlight. A wedding gown stood near the window. Simple. Elegant. Nothing like the gown Serena destroyed. Gabriel knelt. I stared at him. Here? Yes. Why? Because I don't want this room to belong to the worst day of your life. My eyes filled with tears. He opened a ring box. The ring held a small emerald between 2 diamonds. Green. The same color as Isabella's nursery. Valentina DeLuca. His voice shook slightly. The great trauma surgeon was nervous. I almost laughed. You taught me that strength is not the absence of fear. His eyes remained on mine. It is choosing a life larger than what hurt you. He took my hand. I cannot promise that nothing bad will ever happen. I can promise that you will never face it alone. My tears fell. Will you marry me? I looked around the room. Once, I had lain on the floor believing my life was ending. Now Gabriel was kneeling in the same place, offering me a future. Yes. He stood. I wrapped my arms around him. For the first time, that room belonged to me. I married Gabriel 18 months later. Isabella was almost 2. She walked down the aisle holding Marco's finger. Halfway to the altar, she sat down and began pulling flower petals from the basket one by one. The guests laughed. Marco looked helpless. My father cried before the ceremony started. He denied it afterward. My 3 brothers stood behind me. Gabriel waited beneath an arch of white roses. He looked at me the way Ethan never had. Not like I was something he had won. Like I was someone he was grateful to meet. The wedding gown was the one from the proposal. No crystals. No dramatic train. No heavy embroidery. I didn't need a dress to prove my value. When I reached the altar, Gabriel took my hand. Isabella immediately reached for him. He lifted her with one arm. The priest looked confused. Gabriel said, "She's part of the vows." The guests laughed again. When it was time for him to speak, his eyes moved from me to Isabella. "I choose both of you." His voice was steady. "I choose the woman who survived. The mother who fought. And the little girl who taught me that the smallest heart can change an entire family." My eyes filled with tears. "I will never use love to control you. I will never punish you for being afraid. I will tell you the truth, even when the truth is difficult." Then he looked at Isabella. "And I promise to be the father you deserve, if you'll let me." Isabella touched his face. "Gabe." Everyone laughed through their tears. When it was my turn, I looked at the man who had saved my daughter's life. But that wasn't why I loved him. I once believed love was measured by how much pain I was willing to endure. Gabriel's hand tightened around mine. I thought loyalty meant remaining beside someone even when they made me smaller. I was wrong. I touched Isabella's back. Love is not waiting for someone to stop hurting you. It is trusting that they never will. I looked into his eyes. "You didn't rescue me. You stood beside me while I rescued myself." Gabriel's eyes became wet. "I choose you." The priest pronounced us husband and wife. Gabriel kissed me. Isabella placed both hands over our faces and tried to join. My brothers complained. My father laughed. And for the first time, a wedding gown held no blood. Only joy. 5 years after the attack, I stood inside the DeLuca Women's Medical Center. The building provided emergency care, legal services and temporary housing for women experiencing domestic violence. A plaque near the entrance read, "The Isabella Foundation." No woman should need a powerful name before someone believes her. That sentence mattered to me. My family name had saved my life. But it should not have been necessary. If I had truly been the orphan Serena believed I was, she still would have been wrong. My blood would still have mattered. My child would still have deserved protection. The foundation was not built for DeLuca women. It was built for women no one came crashing through glass doors to save. Gabriel stood beside me holding our second daughter, Elena. Isabella was 6 years old. She wore a white dress and insisted on cutting the ribbon herself. Marco stood behind her with scissors in case she failed. She glared at him. "I can do it." Marco immediately stepped back. "She's definitely a DeLuca," he muttered. The reporters laughed. After the ceremony, a young woman approached me. She held a baby against her chest. "I wanted to thank you." "For what?" "The shelter helped us leave." Her voice trembled. "My husband told me no one would believe me because his family was powerful." I looked at the sleeping child. He was wrong. "Yes." She smiled. "I know that now." When she walked away, Gabriel took my hand. "You're crying." "I'm not." "You are. It's the wind. We're indoors." I leaned against him. Across the room, Isabella was telling her uncles where to place the flowers. My father stood nearby, pretending not to obey her. I thought about Ethan sometimes. Not with love. Not even with anger. He became eligible for parole after serving most of his sentence. His application was denied the first time. He wrote several letters asking about Isabella. I never answered. When she was old enough, I would tell her the truth. Not because Ethan deserved a place in her story. Because she deserved to understand it. Serena sent one apology from prison. It contained only 3 sentences. I thought being Mrs. Whitmore would make me powerful. I learned that power without character only makes destruction easier. I am sorry for Isabella. I did not forgive her. But I stopped imagining her punishment. She no longer occupied my life. The Whitmore name disappeared from South City. The former company became DeLuca Urban Development. Thousands of employees kept their jobs. Charles Whitmore died 2 years after his release. Helen moved to another state. Victor Vale lived quietly in a rented apartment. The family Serena and Ethan once believed were untouchable had become footnotes. Gabriel squeezed my hand. Ready to go home? I looked at him. Then at our daughters. Yes. On the way out, I passed a display containing my second wedding gown. The first gown had been destroyed. For years, I thought that mattered. It didn't. A wedding gown was only fabric. A ring was only a stone. A family name was only a name. What mattered was the choice behind them. Ethan chose greed. Serena chose cruelty. My family chose to fight. Gabriel chose to stay. And I chose not to let the worst day of my life become the ending. On the day Serena kicked my pregnant belly, she believed I was powerless because she didn't recognize my name. She was wrong twice. I was a DeLuca. But even without that name, I was never powerless. I only needed to remember it.